Hi, I'm the founder and managing editor of Blackbright News. Copies can be found at www.issuu.com/Blackbright News. Blackbright News is a philanthropic magazine and you can get it free of charge or via a donation. Or you can just look at it on that website. But today I am going to be talking about scams. Not your regular scams, but the one, I know we can all be caught out on a lot of scams, but some of them we're not so vigilant about. Now today while I was on Facebook, somebody mentioned how they looked at their receipt and realised it had a £10 cashback on it. And she hadn't asked for a £10 cashback. And, you know, sometimes we're in such a hurry. We get all our shopping, put it in the bag, we grab the receipt, put it in our purse, and off we go. Sometimes we don't notice it until weeks later. Or we look at our bank and or somebody tells us, how come the bill came up to so much? And sometimes even in our head, we're questioning, oh, I didn't expect my bill to come up to that. But we just think, oh, well, maybe it's something I put in the bag, or I didn't really check what I was doing as I was going along the aisles. It happens to all of us. Anyway, this seems to be something that's happening quite frequently. People are getting greedy, and so it's been brought to our attention more because a colleague of mine, she found a £20 cashback, and that's what alerted her because she knew her shopping hadn't come up to that much. Now, if they'd done a £5 cashback or the minimum, which is £10, I think, then maybe we wouldn't be alerted. But £20, come on now. You know, and that's what tellers are doing. And then they have the audacity to say they can't put it back because it's a till thing. But, you know, they're supposed to make you initial the receipt to say that you've got that £10 or any cash back you've asked for. So make sure you do that. That's the first thing. The second thing is I personally went and did some shopping at a corner shop. And I picked up some green bananas and some yam and some other traditional vegetables. And because they're not priced, you can only guess how much they cost in your head. So I was checking, okay, green bananas, maybe they cost about £1.50. The piece of yam, that's a bit of a hard one. That can cost anything between £1.50 to £2.50, depending on what size it is. And a pumpkin, I have no idea how much that costs. So I put them in my bag anyway with 4 plantains. And I bought some other things like coconut milk and some sauces. Anyway, got to the till, paid for it. And I was standing there and he wasn't giving me my till receipt. So I said, can I have my till receipt, please? And then he pulled it up. And he gave it to me and I looked at it. I said, can I have an itemised till receipt? And he looked quite agitated. Anyway, I took the itemised till receipt. I don't even know why I asked for it because I don't normally. I took the itemised till receipt, put it in my bag, jumped in the car and went home. Anyway, I'm taking out my stuff out of the bag and something said to me, let me look at my till receipt. I looked at the till receipt and I started matching. Something I never do. But I started matching and I realised he had charged me for an extra can of coconut milk, 79p. And I was furious because I felt that was the reason why he didn't give me the receipt. That's the reason why he didn't give me the itemised receipt. I didn't know whether it was a genuine error, but I had a funny feeling it wasn't. And I wondered how many other people they had done that to. Anyway, I went through Google, found the shop and I called them up and I said, look, you've charged me for an extra tin of coconut milk. He didn't even question it. He just said, oh, come back and I'll give you the tin of coconut milk. Anyway, it was pouring with rain and I said I would do it. I put the coconut milk on the side to remind me, but for some reason every time I came home I forgot, or I just didn't go that way on the way home for some reason, because it wasn't one of my regular shops that I frequent. Anyway, the long and short of that story was that he ended up getting my 79p, and it's to alert you to check your receipt. I mean, I know we hear that all the time, but sometimes it doesn't really register until something like this happens, that you could be conned, that people do put extra, and it's more likely to be the little corner shops whose profit goes into their pocket than the larger shops. But like that lady found out this morning, in the larger shops, the tellers are scamming us in a different way. So just be careful about that. Another thing, especially women have got to be wary of, is that when we go to the nail shops, do you notice you never get a receipt and they always want cash? And the other day I was sitting in there and I was thinking to myself, my God, look how many people come in there and do their nails. Now the projects, you're normally looking at between minimum £25, and it can go up to anywhere between 45 and 50. And that turnaround, because they're so fast, is so quick. Can you imagine the tax evasion? We shouldn't really be bothered about that. But if we're being charged top whack for our nails and they do it so quickly, and they're avoiding tax because that's the only reason why they won't be giving us any receipts, then you have to think about that. I can imagine if it was a black company. I know I only say that because of our race. We would be scrutinizing. We'd be asking for a receipt. We'd say, how come they might charge so much for our nails? We'd be doing that. But for some reason, when certain races serve us, we don't question. We don't question them. We trust them. And it was only the other day, sometimes you're being reflective. I thought to myself, these people make a killing and there's no consequences for them. And I don't understand how they set up a business and how the tax people don't jump on that, how they don't question it. How can you have a tax shop? I guess as long as they pay them something, and I guess, unless the tax man is outside the shop watching how many people go in and how many people go out, they're not going to do that, are they? So it's their word, and as long as they're paying some tax, they get away with mega bucks. Yeah, and when I get paid off is that if I'm paying for a manicure and a pedicure, and that's supposed to be a therapeutic experience, and they're rushing with my feet, I'm like, and then you don't have the audacity to be charging me £30 that you're not even paying tax on. That's when I start, that's what makes me think, and that's what makes my mind do overtime. It could be valid observation, it may not be, but it is food for thought. Another thing, I went to a restaurant, and it was a group of us, and apparently if there's more than 5 of you, one person gets it free. No, if it's more than 3 of you, one person gets their meal half price as long as you pay cash. And with groups, if you pay cash, they throw in some kind of incentive like, free soft drinks. But that's the same principle. There's no receipts and it's all done in cash. So be wary. I mean, they've done so much to stop us from making money on the side. I mean, they've blocked every kind of corner. That's how people used to get by back in the day. They would do their little mechanic work, they would do their little gardening, they would do this and that. But the system has devised ways to make people suspect so that, you can't show up at people's houses and say, can I do a little job for you? Because people are so wary of the scams. They're so wary of people having ulterior motives that they don't allow people in the house to do these little jobs that used to give us a little break, that used to give us money on the side. So we do have to be careful when we're dealing with people, and of course we do have to be careful how we deal with ourselves and try to be as honest as possible. And it's not that you're bad-minding these people, it's just that, you know, what rule goes for one should go for all, and there shouldn't be an exception. Just because they're clever and slick and they know how to, they know the loopholes, doesn't mean that, you know, it's not a crime. It is. Anything you get for free and you're supposed to, there's a penalty or you're supposed to pay for it, you know, you're stealing. You're stealing from us, you're stealing from everybody. And I mean, at least if you're getting some kind of concession, charge us cheaper. Why charge us 25 per nails? If they, in Peckham, they have a shop and they can do your nails for £10. I mean, the line is so long. But if they can do it, why can't these other people do it, are trying to scam? And they probably scam big time. Anyway, that's my little morning rant. This is Dark Shades. And yeah, I was talking about Dark Shades. No, I'm Blackbright News in this persona. Yeah, so this is Blackbright News. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, and that's it. Over and out. Have a lovely day.